Okay. Welcome everyone. This is Isaac Smith. This is my journey until I'm 50. Currently I'm 42. And this journey is about showing up when you don't want to. Why do I say that when you don't want to? First of all, when you try and keep yourself accountable for everything that you do, it's a big burden to carry. It's a huge load to consistently keep yourself accountable to be the best version of yourself. Not only does it drain you physically, you are exhausted mentally because they both go together. So when I come in here to train, I try to train myself physically for godliness, because when I train, I feel physically good about myself. I feel physically fit and capable to do something, and I'm living a healthier lifestyle, which is good for all of us. But not only do I come and discipline myself in here physically, I train myself spiritually for godliness as well. Because when I die one day in this body, what would have been the point to train so hard that I would neglect my spiritual training? Because when my body goes to the ground, nothing is left of it. It grows old, it becomes weak, it goes back to the earth. That's how everyone lives as a human being. The fatality rate for human beings is 100%. There's not a single person who's evaded death. Death comes for all of us. So life, technically, for us human beings, is quite short-lived. Your best years are between, I'd say, 20 to 60, 20 to 50, depending of your financial situation, depending on your health situation. But basically, between those 40 years, you live the best version of yourself. So what do prior to that? You learn, you educate yourself in school. And then after that, when you're really old, you can barely walk. When I look at old people, I love old people. But when I look at them, you can just see that the body, once you start neglecting your body in the sense of just normal training, you become so weak that you would stumble on the smallest little pebble and you'll fall over. Not only will you fall over, you'll break your bones. I've seen this. My own grandma was 90 something years old, and I can remember the day that I got married. When I walked with her, her hands were so soft and brittle, in the sense of, like, I was scared that if I just take my granny's arm like this, I might crack it, because it was all making cracking and crackling sounds, and she's old, but she was there. So the idea is, when you're training here physically, the most important thing is consistency. That's why I say you pitch up here the days when you don't want to train as well. Like today's one of those days again for me. Why? Lately it's been like, oh man, I don't want to train, but here I am. Because that's what it means to commit yourself to something. I want to train. Even when I want to train, sometimes I don't want to be in here. It's just physically your body seeks comfort and rest, and it tries to pull you away from becoming a better version of yourself. I would rather much sit in front of my PC, play a game, but I'm not. You see, that's where balance comes in. You need balance. If your balance isn't right, then there's going to be a few certain things you have to do in your life. You're going to have to make a few sacrifices, because your family starts first. Well, obviously your relationship with God is the most important thing. Above your family, above your kids, above everything else. And a lot of people, it's easy for them to say that, but whether they mean it or not is a different story. Because let's say my wife was put on display for, who do you choose, Isaac? Do you choose God, or do you choose your wife? Should you choose God, he'll kill your wife. Should you choose your wife, you deny God. I think anyone in that situation will struggle, because we can't see God, but we believe in him. Yet your wife is there and you can see her. So when it comes to your flesh will easily give up God to protect your wife. That's just built in. What I'm saying is, you need to find a deeper connection and understanding of who God is and how to love him. And pray that you never get put into a position like that, because I don't think that happens to most people. That's maybe one in a gazillion where something like that can happen. But I'm just saying, you need to live a life where you prepare yourself, where you ask yourself, why is it that you love God so much? What is it about Jesus and the Holy Spirit and God the Father that attracts you, that you are willing to die for it? Because that's the history of the Christians. How many of them got martyred? They died for their faith in Jesus Christ. Today, I'm living with that same faith that they had in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, believing that I will get resurrected and live eternity for Him. My heart desires to glorify Him, but yet in this body I am limited. You are, and whether you like it or not, there's no escaping it. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That's why we need Jesus. And it shouldn't just be a case of I need Jesus, but what about it? I love Jesus. Because before the foundations of the earth was made, my name was written in the book of life. So before anything was made, Jesus made me for Him, to glorify Him. Why? Because that's what He wanted. And that's what my inner being desires. A lot of people can't get this because of the sinful nature within themselves, with the fog over their eyes. They simply cannot understand the reasoning for another human being to say that they love someone they cannot see. It doesn't add up for them. But it does for me, because it's a personal relationship and it's not a made-up one. They were like, it's a made-up person. They have a relationship with someone they cannot see. They're talking to themselves. All of them, they're crazy. That's what we are called quite often. Our Christians, we are crazy. But what does it matter what the world says? Spend time in the Word of God, and you will find the answers you are looking for. He will give it. You cannot hide from God. He sees everything, and nothing catches Him off surprise. Because remember, names, book of life, earth not here. So you cannot be caught off God. He understands exactly who you are, and He knows exactly what you're going to do. So if you're going to think you're going to outsmart God, you're only going to make it worse for yourself. Now, the reason why I didn't want to train tonight is that's why we're going to have a different type of training session here tonight, because I can't use my foot. I have gout. So not only did I have tennis elbow, which is a lot better at the moment. I haven't felt the pain or the sting or the flaring up of this tendon again, but I'm still using it because I'm cautious of injuring it again with just too much of a strike or something. But now in the meantime, not only did I have ITB with my knee, well, the ITB band is here, and your glutes connected to your glutes is because you have weak glutes that your ITB is affecting your knees. It's not a knee injury, it's more like a weak glute system you have. So I've got that. I cannot run more than 5 kilometers on the road. Once I cross 5 kilometers, it's like this kneecap just says, that's it, I'm out. The pain is unbearable. You can't run with ITB. It's kind of, as soon as it's at that peak, you can't run. I'm sorry, you can't run. It's the same with shin splints, but I don't have that at the moment. I had it when I was younger. Now that went away. But now I've got these new injuries. And now at 42, I've got gout. I probably got it from my dad. For what it's worth, it doesn't really matter. I'll just tell you one thing. No one's going to know how painful it is until they've had it. It's so sore that if I had to take this blue ribbon or belt or whatever you want to call it, and I just drop it on your toe, you'd feel like you want to cry. Some people, my dad had it in his elbow, some people get it in their bunions, and some people get it who knows else where. I don't care. But it is really uncomfortable. So I've been taking anti-inflammatory pills, so that has actually helped a lot. So the nice thing is to feel the pain in your foot before it really happens. Because once the gout is full blown, you can't even walk. It's like you can't let anything touch on that point on your foot, because the crystallized things in your foot there that is created, it's just, man, it's unbearable. And that's what I've got. But it's now since last week Friday. Today is, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, so it's about 5 days ago it started. So I've started taking those pills. The inflammation has gone down, and they're actually feeling okay. But it's very difficult to make your foot straight. You can't do that. So I can't jump on my leg. You know how difficult it's been to do the 50 squats. I've actually done a lot less deep squats. So I did less deep squats, but I did more RDLs, just because of the amount of pressure I put on my foot doing a deep squat. So it's going to be tough doing those in here again tonight. And then go to some of these mats. These ones are a bit thicker. I've got 4 of them in here. They're about 60 by 60 centimeters, but I need one more pack to do the whole room. I'm not sure what I'm going to do by the door yet, but I've got something in mind that I want to do, like cut a piece out there and then just lift it during training. So when I close the door, I can just put it down again. But I've got 4 of them, and this is my weekend's project. I want to just lay them out and see how it's going to be, because for my son, when we do judo training, I need something softer so he doesn't, because these mats are hard. You can't train them like that. So 4 of them. Here you can see how they look like. So 4 there, 4 here, 4 there, 4 there. That's the space. That's how small the space is. So you can use the smallest of smaller spaces to train yourself. But I will do my 50 leg raises on 2 of these just because I want to test it. So I'll leave you there, and I'll put these ones away. I'm not going to be too worried about water tonight because I can't move around. So I'm going to put the music up, and I'm going to pause it, and I'll put it softer so that I can speak. But at the same time, I want to train a little bit, because as soon as I lose that momentum, keeping myself accountable to train twice a week, even if it's 30 minutes, it's fine. But you have to put in the effort. You have to show up. If you don't show up, it becomes just too easy to say the next time, maybe next thing you wipe out your eyes, it's a week, it's 3 weeks later, and you've just totally let yourself go. Don't do that. And this is why I'm here, standing here saying that I didn't want to train tonight because of this toe, this gout, this bunion. It's annoying, but it's there. So what can I do? I can still do my 50 leg raises. I can still do 100 squats with difficulty, and I'll do some shadow boxing. So I'm going to put the gloves on, and we'll just rinse and repeat a few strikes tonight, because I actually walked a lot at work today. So instead of this is where your bunion sits, so instead of it being, because it is sore here, but instead of it being the only part of where my foot should be sore, it's actually sore here, because you're walking like this. So you're walking like that to not put pressure there on the bunion. So now the side of my foot is actually where it's now feeling like it's bruising, because I have to walk. I'm at work. I can't just take a week off. It doesn't work like that for me. Right. But enough said. I think we can start with the session. So since I can't use my legs, let's just get warm with a few body swings, Get your body loose. It's still important that we can get this body loose. It doesn't matter how the movements look like. I don't care how it looks like. I care about the effect it has. So when I do like a stretch like that, stretch all the way. Let these muscles pull so that you can feel. And it also gives you an indication of how far you can stretch backwards or to the side, which is really good to know those things. You get comfortable in understanding what your body is capable of and what it can't do. Simple as that. We're going to do some strikes in there just now. The reason why I still have my shirt on is because it's cold here. Also long pants today, because it's, like I said, really cold in here. And when you do shadow boxing, it's working out a routine for yourself that's comfortable and easy, and it works for you. There might be a different style for you, then that's what you practice. Practice what you feel comfortable with. Practice with how your mind perceives shadowboxing. So I have my little combos that I like to throw, and if I had someone else to show me a different move, I'll probably try it. But at the end of the day, it's not about trying what is, it's not doing about someone doing that. You're supposed to do it like that. No, you can do it the way you want to, because you're still going to have the same benefits of being able to have your own comfortable strike, putting someone on the spot with your awkwardness and weirdness. And remember, when we train in here, shadowboxing, it's for one purpose only, self-defense. We're not going to go out then because you feel maybe confident in yourself and you're going to go there and look for a fight. No. We're not out there to harm people. We're not supposed to fight against human beings made of flesh and blood. But it doesn't mean I need to be unprepared for when someone comes to try and kick my butt. No. If you're going to come look for a fight, you'll get a fight, but in self-defense. So we always try to honor the law as well, because that's what a good citizen would do. We don't promote recklessness in here. We promote obedience, good behavior, discipline over desire. Now, having discipline in your life is where it is key. People ask me quite often, how do you look like that? How do you keep on doing that? It's the small sacrifices that you make. It's the disciplined mindset of doing 50 leg raises every day. It's the disciplined mindset of doing 100 squats every single day. You know how many days there are that I feel like, man, can I just keep it? Even though it takes me 2 minutes for the leg raises. Even though it takes me maybe 5 minutes or 4 minutes or 3 minutes for the squats. Sometimes I do 50, sometimes I actually do 100 straight. That's rough. Not tonight though. Because I have to say, my legs are feeling very good from these squats. And the nights that you are really tired, sometimes I'm like, I'm just so tired. I just want to get this 50 squats done. I'll bend my legs a little bit, just so that I can do them quicker without burning out. Normally I won't do that, but sometimes you just improvise it a little bit to keep that consistency going. You'll see, you won't regret it. Yo. I have to see this foot, I don't want to flare it up. So it's an issue from the start again, but I don't think that will happen. Okay, but we're going to do our 50 leg raises quickly. I'll have the music on for this one. 50 leg raises, let's go.
Consecrating a will to begin. Now the fire inside is not my own. It's the breath of God that's overthrown the man I was, facing within as Christ awakens the man again. Every breath I take is borrowed flame. Every trial whispers his name. The body bends, the spirit grins, for I have found the awakening within. I am not my strength, I am his vessel, still breathing, still burning, still waking within. Yeah, I knew the way home, but I kept choosing a road that broke me. Thought freedom was doing whatever I felt, but all it did was chain me harder. And somehow, even when I ran the farthest, I still felt his footsteps behind me, not hunting me, rescuing me. Yeah, I was 17, running with a heart full of noise, pretending I was grown in a world built for boys, swapping out my soul for a weekend rush. Every high wore off and the silence crushed. Beer in my veins, pride in my chest, lies in my head saying, boy, you're blessed. But every Sunday guilt kept calling my name, knew the shepherd's voice, but I hid in shame. Played every part just to fit in the crowd, different mask every night, but inside not proud. Knew the truth since a kid, but I shut that door until the spirit kept whispering, son, there's more. And I felt that pull in my darkest night. Somehow you stayed through all my fights. Every time I ran, you stayed in sight. Grace broke through and lit the night. I ran forward, but you still ran faster.
Whew, okay. I'll tell you one thing quickly. Those 50 leg raises, those were rough. Because the mats are stacked on top of each other, 4 of them. So it's quite thick. So when I bring my feet down, I don't feel the floor. They're actually going down just a little bit more. So that little bit that it's going down extra and coming back up, whew, man, my core, I'm feeling it now. And this is, my videos have been coming out now. I'm at the 40th odd video. Twice a week, I've been consistent with this. Training, the 30 minutes, 40 minutes in here, sometimes 45. That's been my training, and all I've been doing, included with that, is 50 leg raises and 100 squats every day. And occasionally, I will go run a few uphills. So, that's the effort I put in. To look like this at 42. And trust me, it's not that it's great, but it's not bad either. You can do far better, but what I'm trying to say is just by doing that little bit of consistency. 2 minutes in the morning for my 50 leg raises, and before I go to bed, 100 squats. That's it. 7 minutes, more or less, to finish that little combo. You can do something else. The 1 year I did push-ups, 35,000 push-ups for 1 year. So I was feeling quite big up here. But now, with the tennis elbow, you saw me, I did 10. That's where I cut the line out. I'm not going to do more than 10. Because I'm only building up that strength in my arms again, the tendon. So the real injury that I actually had is here in my shoulder from fighting. This is the humeral head. I cracked it 13 years ago. And that's why when I was doing the ball slams, where I said it feels like my socket, my shoulder's feeling like it's wanting to pop out. That's because of that injury. That's what it is. So yeah, every single choice that you make affects you in your life going forward. I didn't think ending up in a fight 13 years ago would leave me in the shoulder pain. My shoulder pain was now connected to my tennis elbow. Why? Because I was drunk. Because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I like this shot where I strike because it's a straight body, so it's like this one, it's like this. So that's why you need strong abs to be able to do those movements. Because most of the time, when people fight, it's a jab and it's back. It's a jab and it's back. Very seldom do people follow up with 2, 3, 4 shots. Very seldom. And I'll tell you something, from training in here, should something bad happen, I've got confidence that I can protect my family. If I don't want to, if it's not needed, you avoid it. But should I need to use my body physically to defend my family because of X, Y, and Z, I will do so. And at least I will know that I'm a capable man of protecting them. So what type of father do you want to be? Are you also willing to lay down your life for your family? Are you willing to put your body on the line for them if it should be needed? Or what if you are one of those guys who just sat on the couch the whole day? Maybe you had too much to drink even. Maybe you're a bad smoker. Maybe you're just a sloth in general. And someone breaks into your house. You can barely get out of the chair. And by the time you get to where you need to be, you're out of breath. If that's you, you can change. Listen. Be a man with a heart after your own family. Like David was a man after God's own heart. Live that life. Because once we leave this planet, this joy and pain and sorrow and agony and everything that you can experience and live in this life, it's gone forever. You'll never experience anything like this again. That's why I try to treat this life as if it's like the best freedom I could ever have. Not like I'm going to have any freedom in the kingdom. I will have my freedom, but to the best of my ability, because there's no sin involved in my life. So then I can praise and worship Jesus to the best of my ability with nothing keeping me back. Because this body is an obstacle in the way that it perceives everything about the truth of the Word of God. This body seeks comfort and rest. It does not want to glorify Jesus. It wants to walk away from Him. I'm telling you, this is the state of your human flesh. You got to fight it in the sense of how you prepare yourself. And that starts with mental stability as well. Because it's pointless to have this fit body, but you're unstable mentally. Someone just looks at you and you're like all puffed up. And why are you looking at me like that? And then you start a fight. That's immature, man. If that's still you, you need to grow up. You need to become a real man. You know what's a real man? Look at Jesus. Look at how He was able to forgive those who wronged Him. He didn't wrong anyone. He's the perfect example. He really is. That's why we live a life in obedience to glorify Him. Because we were made to glorify Him. Too much movement. Whew, it's sore. Let's see if we can do a few squats though. Music up, some squats, and then we'll carry on with another session. Let's go. Squat time. 100.
More than we want to be right. I don't need perfect. I need to reach before I disappear. You won't grow. Come on, boy. Then hear me clearly. Comfort never made a warrior. Distractions won't carry you. Naps won't build you. If it is to be, it's up to me. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Now breathe in. Lock in. Come on, boy. Let's go. Most people quit right where the breakthrough begins. They slow down, they drift, they say later, but later steals your destiny. A small nap feels harmless, I'll start again tomorrow feels innocent. But that's how you lose whole years, that's how desire dies, that's how the calling fades. Because the spirit in you says, get up, move, fight. It's up to me. Not in my strength, but in surrender to His. Come on, boy. You're not done. Dig deeper. Shake off the doubt. Shake off the noise. You were made for more than comfort. You were made for purpose. Lift your head, lift your heart. Step forward like a man after God's own heart. I rise through the pain. I rise through the fire. Every step I take takes me higher. Not for want God near, then guard your heart. Isaiah said it, it's not his arm that's too short, not his ear that's too dull. It's sin that separates, it's disobedience that builds distance. So stay sharp, stay humble, stay trained. Your body is a vessel, your mind is a battlefield, your spirit is the key. Holiness is not weakness, strength aimed in the right direction. It's alignment, it's power. And when your legs shake, when your breath burns, when doubt whispers, you answer with fire. Come on, boy, push again. No shortcuts, no excuses. Greatness is stewardship, discipline is worship, obedience is the road. I rise through the pain, I rise through the fire. Every step I take takes me higher. Not for approval, not to impress. I push because I'm called to holiness. Strength in my body, truth in my soul. Training every day to walk his road when the struggle hits. When the flesh says quit, I answer back. Come on, boys. When do you look back and say, I didn't quit, I didn't fall. I carried the fire, I trained my body, my mind, my spirit for him. You'll see the fruit, the family, the legacy, the people awakened by your obedience. So today, stand firm, stay sharp, run hard, and when it hurts, come on, boy, finish strong. I rise through the pain, I rise through the fire. Every step I take takes me higher. Not for approval, not to impress. I push because I'm called to holiness. Strength in my body, truth in my soul. Training every day to walk his road when the struggle hits. When the flesh says quit, I answer back. Come on, boy, this is it. If it is to be, it's up to me. But the strength, the breath, the fire comes from him. Come on, boy, keep going. One chance to get this right. One race to win first prize. Every man fights two wars, one the world can see, and one no eye will ever know. The battle between body and spirit, between comfort and obedience, between what I feel and who I follow. So I rise every day to train myself for godliness. This body is loud, it wants control. It whispers lies to chain the soul. It loves the easy, hates the climb, sells the eternal for a moment in time. It bends to hunger, it feeds on pride. It runs from truth, it tries to hide. But the spirit knows a narrow way where training keeps this body at bay. Train your body, train your soul, bring the fire under control. Let obedience be your might, let surrender win the fight. The body may fall, the heart may strain, but Christ in me will still remain. I've met the man who fears the pain, who hides his wounds, who breaks again. But I've also seen the one who stands, who bleeds yet worships with his hands. The body bows to the mind's command, the mind obeys the spirit's hand. That's where victory begins, when the soul refuses to give in. Self-control over impulse, obedience through endurance. I train the body to bow for my King here and now. Not for praise, not for name, but for his glory and his claim. Train yourself. Train your hands, your heart, your mind. Leave the weakness far behind. Every scar, every bruise marks the war I did not lose. Train your body, train your soul. Make self-control the goal. The body will fight, but grace sustains. God is strength and Christ remains. The man who conquers the body does not boast, he boasts. For training is worship and obedience is love. Train yourself over and over for godliness. Discipline over desire, obedience filled up by fire. Step by step, I walk this line. Victory comes in God's own time. It's easy to quit, it's easy to fall, to skip the work or not train at all, to slow your pace when the hill gets steep, but discipline waits when desire sleeps. Discipline over desire, my heart's aiming for higher. I walk the walk without boast and talk. Discipline over desire, Jesus Going forward, another step. Don't look backward. Trust yourself in the path ahead. Choosing discipline over desire.
Pause that for a second. My toe is throbbing. It's okay. We can handle it. Like, I wouldn't be standing here and boxing if it was at the point where I'm going to be like, I'm damaging myself. So I can still do it. I just can't put a lot of pressure on the toe at the moment. That's why the strikes might look, and you can make a good thing from a bad thing, in the sense of, because I can't move around as freely as I normally can, I changed my objective. Like, okay, so now you're in a position where you're going to be striking, but guess what? You're going to be standing still most of the time. So what type of strikes can you do with minimal movement? So that's what I mean with how you renew your mind. How I come and I train myself in here physically, spiritually, and mentally. Because mentally I try to tell myself, listen, you have this injury now. There's no point in going down and sit about and cry about it and do nothing about it. Instead, I have this injury. What's the best thing I can do to accommodate it? Like, I was using these rubber bands when I had a tennis elbow. I still have something on here, but I'm getting back into the place where I can do some striking. And now this. So instead of moaning about it, just ask yourself, what's the best move going forward from this point on? For us, it's carrying on with the song and doing a few more reps, because I'm not tired, I'm not sweating because I'm not dancing.
Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the substance of what God has promised. Faith gives reality to what we hope for, a solid certainty resting on His word.
Faith is not wishful feeling, not emotion rising and falling. Faith stands on the promises of God, the foundation under every hope.
Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith stands on every word the Lord has spoken. His promise is the ground beneath my feet. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. I walk by faith, I see the unseen. His word is my certainty. Faith is the conviction of things not seen, the evidence of God's unseen reality. Faith is the proof the Spirit gives, living light where I see none. Faith responds to what God has spoken, not to what circumstance appear to be. Faith knows the unseen realm is true, for God has declared His will. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith stands on every word the Lord has spoken. His promise is the ground beneath my feet. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. I walk by faith, I see the unseen. His word is my certainty. Faith is not imagination, not positive thinking, not emotion shifting wind. Faith is not human effort, not not forcing outcomes, not blind or empty within.
Faith rests on what God has spoken. Faith trusts His character and truth. Faith lives by what He has revealed, not by sight but by His proof.
Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Faith stands on every word the Lord has spoken. His promise is the ground beneath my feet. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. I walk by faith, I see the unseen. His word is my certainty. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. I walk by faith, I see the unseen. Your faithfulness has carried me.
The fire hums again. Hammer meets heart.
Okay. That's about the session, I think, for tonight. So, let's just take this off here. Whew. Yeah, so it's just a normal session. We didn't sweat much. Body still looks fine. There's barely any sweat on here. You can see the gray hairs here for 42. Most people don't have gray hair at 42, I do. But thanks for showing up. Not for me, for yourself. And remember, there will be seasons in your life where things are going bad. It's what you're going to do for yourself during those bad situations. Tomorrow, I might sit without a job. What am I going to do? Am I going to just say, oh, I lost my job? Will someone comfort me? As much as you need that, you pick up your head, you go look for a new job, you give it everything you've got. Because as human beings, we don't need to quit. We can work physically, we can think with our brains, and we can just give ourselves, push ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. When you were younger, when you were at school, you had lots of school friends. Pick the right friends. Take it from me. I had many friends. Call them friends, but more like people I used to party with. Where are they today? They're not here. And not just in my life. Every single one that I know, when I look into life, a lot of the people they used to spend time with, they don't spend time with them anymore. So you need friends that understand you, that wants to be around you because they enjoy your company and because you can bring the best out of each other. I still have those friends. They're part of my life. I've got 3 or 4 friends that I've known now for 30 years. I came to Cape Town at the age of 11 I think. And I've known most of them, and the ones that were my friends 30 years ago are still today. So, and the other ones that I know, I don't know, they're somewhere around there, I don't know. But make good decisions. Every single second that you have to make a choice, just remember, you might think that if you make the wrong choice, you're going to get away with it because of some other benefit that you might gain from it. It's not worth it. Because down the line, God sees everything. He put that trial over your path to see what is in your heart. That's what I'm saying. You cannot hide from God. So rather be as honest as you can. It's not easy, for myself included. Sometimes I'm dishonest still, but yet I'm trying to say it's a battle you face every day. So make the most of it, and don't put your head down. One day we're all going to put our heads down in the sense of eternal rest. But this is only for this flesh. You're going to get a new body. You've got a body already there for you. You're just going to get it with everyone else at the same time. And we're going to live in eternity to praise and worship Jesus Christ. I'm looking forward to that moment. And I'm making these videos for myself down the line to even remind myself of where I was at the age of 42. Maybe one day my son will look at these videos and he'll see the type of man his father has become. What if I'm not here tomorrow? At least he's got a few videos you can see about the type of dad he really had. He already knows it, but he doesn't see this side of me yet as Because I don't do this inside the home, you know. Okay, peace. Let's go.